Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're going to talk about a group of thinkers, total revolutionaries really, from the early 20th century. And they had this one huge goal, to completely shake up how we see the world.
Okay, so let me ask you something. When was the last time you really looked at your own front door? I mean, actually saw it. You know, the little scratches, the exact shade of paint, the way the light reflects off the doorknob. If you're anything like me, you probably can't remember. We go through our days on total autopilot.
Well, that right there, that's the exact problem a guy named Viktor Shklovsky was talking about over 100 years ago. He called it habituation. It's this idea that our brains just switch off. We stop seeing things and just recognize them. It becomes automatic, unconscious. He even said it devours everything, our work, our homes, even our relationships. Life's vibrant colors just kind of fade to gray.
So, if we're all walking around in this perceptual fog, what's the cure? What's the antidote? Well, for Shklovsky and his friends, the answer was simple: art. But not art as we usually think of it. They had a whole new job for art to do.
And their big idea had a big name: defamiliarization. Sounds complicated, but it's actually a really cool concept. It just means taking stuff we see every day, the boring familiar things, and making them look weird, making them strange. Why? To shatter that autopilot mode, to jolt us awake and force us to actually see them again, like it's the very first time. Shklovsky had this amazing quote that just nails it. He said, "Art exists to make the stone stony." Just think about that for a second. The point of art isn't just to be pretty or to tell a story. Its job is to make you feel the stoniness of a stone, to break through the numbness so you can feel the world again, not just, acknowledge it. It's about getting that sensation of being alive back. Okay, so how do you actually do this? Well, it's not random. It's a process. Step 1, you take something and make it look unfamiliar. Step 2, you make the shape, the form, kind of difficult, not super easy to figure out. Step 3, all of this makes it take longer, makes it harder for us to process what we're seeing. And here's the kicker. Step 4, that whole process, that struggle to see, that's the art. The work you put into perceiving it is the whole point.
Now, this wasn't just one guy in a room. This was a whole movement. They were called the Russian Formalists, and they were basically made up of two major groups, both of them just electric with these new ideas, right in the middle of revolutionary Russia.
So you had these two hubs of activity. First, in 1915, the Moscow Linguistic Circle popped up, with brilliant minds like Roman Jakobson. Then just a year later, you get OPOYAZ, which is a mouthful. It stands for the Society for the Study of Poetic Language, and that's where Shklovsky was a key player. These two groups, working together, were literally trying to rewrite the rules of what literature and art were all about.
But here's something you absolutely have to understand. You can't separate these ideas from the world they came from. This wasn't happening in some quiet, cozy academic setting. Nope. This was all going down during the Russian Revolution. We're talking about an incredibly turbulent, dangerous time to have a new idea, especially an idea that questioned what art was for.
And man, things happened fast. Look at this timeline. The groups get started right on the eve of the 1917 revolution. That same year, Shklovsky drops his bombshell essay. But then, all through the 20s, they're constantly clashing with the new Soviet government. And, well, you can guess what happens next. Once Stalin takes over, formalism is shut down. Done. It gets replaced by an official, state-approved art style.
So, what was the big fight about? It really boils down to one question. What is art for? On one side, you have the formalists, saying art exists for itself. It has its own rules. The form, the way it's made, that's the whole point. On the other side, you have the new Soviet state saying, no way. Art has a job. Its job is to serve the revolution, to deliver a clear political message. For them, there was no time to make the stone stony. That stone needed to be a brick to help build the new society.
So, back in Russia, the movement was crushed. But here's the thing about powerful ideas. You can't just kill them. Formalism didn't die out. It kind of went into exile, spreading across borders, influencing thinkers all over the world. And honestly, it completely changed the game for how we study literature and art, right up to this very day.
You had guys like Roman Jakobson who left and took these ideas with them. And they planted seeds that grew into massive movements, like structuralism. I mean, some of the biggest names in literary theory for the rest of the 20th century. We're talking Roland Barthes, Gerard Genette, the heavy hitters. They were all building on the foundation that these Russian formalists laid down. The idea absolutely survived.
And that brings us full circle.
right back to where we started. The whole point of Russian formalism was to use art to wake us up from our everyday slumber. So the question they left for us, and the one I'll leave with you, is this. What in your world has become invisible to you? What object, what place, what person could art help you see again, as if for the very first time? What stone in your life needs to be made stony?